Well, let's try this again since I was kicked off of YouTube for I don't even know what reason. Um, hi. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was weird. I guess it's for the better because I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm very frazzled because I just did an Instagram live where I went over everything, and the thing is, it didn't save, which is weird, and that's irritating because I have to kind of go over it all over again. So I'm gonna try it this way on my laptop, kind of see how it goes. So I guess I should just jump into it. I guess I'm used to Instagram because you can kind of communicate and you can see people talking to you, and I'm more active on there obviously, and here I'm just not. So I don't really know if this is even worth it to post on here, but we'll see. We will see. So I apologize in advance if I get all flustered and just delete it anyway, because apparently I do a lot better on other websites. So that being said, this will get uploaded after the fact if I don't screw it up. All right. So something that I was talking about earlier is there's a lot of people out there that are victim shaming, and it's really not sitting well with me. Um, People are shaming actual survivor victims, whatever you'd like to call us, for coming forward and speaking because they want to question everyone's motives and movements and what our parents did and didn't do, etc., etc. I'm one of those people that gets questioned a lot because I was told to, after I interviewed, I was told, or I was questioned as to why I didn't speak up or say something when I was on tour with Dahvie Vanity in 2009 when I witnessed illegal activity. To which my response is, I was a teenager at the time, and I was previously in a situation with him where I was molested essentially, and I didn't really know how to handle it at all. It was a weird position because at the same time I was thinking, oh, this is my friend, which he clearly was not. So I was 17 years old on this tour, witnessing all this stuff, not knowing what to do about it. I wasn't into it. I was not happy witnessing it at all. It grossed me out. It made me uncomfortable. It pissed me off. But again, teenage girl, this person's responsible for me. I have no money. He didn't give me any money. He didn't pay me after the fact either. Never got paid for this stupid tour that I did, even though I was only there for half of it. But regardless, I didn't get paid anything. Um, so I was put in this position where I had to rely on this guy, right? I didn't know what to do. Now, the same goes for other people in the same position where they knew him, and you know, there was a lot of implied behavior, but I don't think for a second that he was doing highly illegal activities in front of other people. So, a lot of people want to talk about Jeffree Star. That's like everyone's question right now. Everybody, all the drama channels, all of the just spectators, everyone who watches our videos, they all want to know, what's the deal with Jeffree Star? That's what everybody cares about, which is unfortunate because he is so irrelevant in this story. I mean, he, him, just like anyone else that toured with Dahvie, whether they were in the band with him, were working for him in crew, or whatever else, whatever else would keep them near him, they saw a lot of implied behavior. Everybody did for years. But do I think for a minute that Jeffree witnessed something like a sexual act for himself? I don't think that. I really don't. I don't want to talk too much about him because I don't think it's necessary. But I do think that it should be, I do want to comment on it because that is a thing that people ask about all the time. He was definitely present for a lot of stuff, the Damien situation is he was present for that. He knew who Damien was. So that's a lie that he didn't. That's a lie. It just is. It's a fact. Um, but I don't need to tell you guys that. Everybody already knows that. When it comes to the Jeffrey thing, it's really that simple. There was a lot of implied behavior. Um, I don't know that he would have ever called the cops if he saw something or not. I can't speak on his behalf for something like that. He's not like my friend. I've only been around him like a handful of times, and I just can't tell you what he would do. Um, the same thing with Jay. I've spoken to Jay. I like Jay. I think that he was kind of in the circumstance because he was 18 years old. He was hired on by Dahvie right after Garrett quit. Mind you, Jay was a fan prior to joining the band, and he essentially was raised by Dahvie in a sense. That's how I kind of put it. He was impressionable and young, just like any of us were. Did he say awful things? Yeah, but he's got this. That's a sense of humor. It's not good with certain. Some of it's in poor taste for sure. But he was 18 years old. Hello, Fry. So I don't think anybody witnessed illegal activity. Yes, hello. Sorry, my cat's very cute. I really don't think that. I don't know for anything for a fact, but I think that we need to focus more on Davi because he is the person that is on trial for this, or will be on trial for this. Technically, we'll say that. I know that a lot of people have been blowing up Fallon's inbox, kind of like bringing her children into this and saying awful things to her, harassing her. And she asked me today if I'm experiencing that, to which I say, well, no, I'm not really. And it makes me feel really awful because, she has kids. Like, leave her alone, man. She didn't know what was going on. I don't feel like she knew what was going on. I don't get that vibe from her whatsoever. There's a lot of accusatory things going on with this, a lot of pointing the finger, and it's unnecessary. This is not a drama situation. I keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it until the case is done. This is not tea. This isn't gossip. This isn't drama. This is like a real life criminal investigation that's taking place right now. So we need to treat it like that. If if drama channels want to cover it for whatever reason, they can go ahead and do it. But it's just not. That's just not what the focus is on. I think that we need to be careful with how we treat people and speak to people. Um, you know, a lot of girls tried coming forward many times. There's only two police reports that are public um, for Davi in 2007 and 2009, and that doesn't mean that there were not reports that had been attempted to be filed many, many, many times. I've had several girls, all of which are not girls who have gone public. So you guys don't even know who these girls are, but I've had plenty of girls tell me like I went to the police and they did nothing. They did nothing to help me. They laughed at me. They told me I was lying. They told me I couldn't do anything. There's so many different situations like that, and it's absolutely horrible, and it breaks my heart that that's the position that they were put in. And so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that, and I was in a position when I was younger, not long after my experience with him when I was 15 happened, where I had gotten another guy arrested for the same thing. And that was very publicized all over social media because at the time I was an internet personality or whatever you want to call that. So when that happened, I got harassed. I was threatened. I got jumped. I would be I would be going out in public to shows. People would throw stuff at me. They would yell at me. They would threaten me. You name it. I was bashed all over the internet. People were posting my address, my like legal name, like everything. And that was, and I got someone arrested. Now, that's what happened when I came forward. So, when something like that happens, it kind of makes you not want to try it again. You know what I mean? It makes you feel like it's worthless. And that's how a lot of other girls feel is like they tried to do something about it or they heard of someone trying to do something about it and nothing came of it. So I think it's really important to kind of consider that. And then I know that there's a lot of fans and supporters of his that are still having his back and saying, "Oh, he's innocent," and "Where's your proof?" And I see videos from kids that they're like, "Oh, if he did this to you, then where's your proof?" It's like, what proof do you need? Is my thing about it, because you want me to set up a camera and just kind of like wait to get molested? Like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. There's plenty of proof out there as it is. There's text receipts. If watch these videos, Google his name. There are text receipts from girls. There are conversations where you can visually see it. There are photos of him with children all over Google Images of him kissing and inappropriately touching kids who are clearly not even 16. And at that time, he was over the age of 24. I know that much. I don't know how old he was in every photo, but I know for a fact. So there's a lot of proof out there. It's just a matter of what you choose to listen to. Um, I've been in conversation with so many girls. I've become friends with a lot of the other survivors in the situation, and a lot of girls have reached out to me specifically just to talk to me or get my input. Oh, sorry, I keep burping. um, or if they need help with reporting, they come to me and I help them. They come to other people, they help them. So there are at this point well over 100 girls who have actually come forward. Um, I don't know why people keep saying 21 girls have come forward, because that was just the Huffington Post article, and that was like, I think it was like almost 2 years ago or something now. So no, like, since the videos alone plus Huffington Post, that's already like 40 as it is. So no, there are definitely hundreds. And there are also girls who come to me and other people and say like, "I got groped at a show by him when I was 13. He kissed me on the lips without my consent when I was 14, or he, grinded up on me behind when I wasn't looking, things like that, or I was invited to his house, hotel room." um, Things like that happen too that didn't become assault because it just didn't escalate to that in that specific case. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, of instances like this. And I've said this on my previous stream, that this is not a case of a band guy makes a mistake and hooks up with some underage girl to show one time and then does it again 2 years later by accident. That's not what this is. This is a guy who specifically goes after kids. Only kids. Well, not only, he definitely targets adults too, but primarily that's what he goes for. And that's what a pedophile is. That's what a pedophile is. That's what a predator is. This is a serial situation. This isn't like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 12 time instance. This is a severe, like, this is like Ted Bundy on steroids right now. Now, a lot of people are asking for proof about law enforcement being involved and things like that. And a lot of people want me to go public about talking about all these new developments and things like that whenever I go live with Chris Hansen or whomever else. Now, I have been instructed to keep a lot of stuff private, and I have passed that along to certain content creators and people who just are publicly voicing their opinions on this, who are involved in any way. Um, some listen, some don't. And you know what? Sometimes stuff slips out, and that's understandable. I mean, Davi's already very well aware that this is going on, and he is being very careful right now. He will watch anything about him. He wants to keep up to date. He's very vain, so his name is very accurate, clearly. So, he is being very careful. We, you guys already know about some of the most recent, I say some of the most recent girls who have kind of come forward about it, but there's a lot more out there. There's a lot of girls who still haven't come forward to tell their stories, whether it be a couple years ago, a couple months ago, yesterday. Girls are scared to talk about it. Some girls have contacted me wanting to tell a story and then say, "Never mind, I'm too afraid to talk about it. I don't want I don't want to tell my parents, or I don't want so and so knowing." That is a very serious reality that we are living in. People are afraid to let their voice be heard, and I understand that. It's a very delicate situation. But I just really wanted to come on here because I think that it needs to be said, not just through like a tweet, but it needs to be said vocally, um, that victim shaming is a problem. And if you're going to do that, then you are the problem. It's just that. People are afraid of coming forward and talking about it because they're afraid of being slammed on the internet. They're afraid of being harassed. They're afraid of being questioned or blamed. You know, I came forward and I told most of my story. I didn't really even get into full detail of what happened, but I came forward and I told my story. And then I also went in and said I witnessed some stuff too, which is, more than other people have, I guess, admitted to, that have witnessed. And even though I'm telling you what you want to know, I'm still being, targeted as, why didn't you say this then, or why didn't you speak up then? It's like, I'm only human, man. So if you get on people's cases like Jay or Jeffrey or whomever else for the same purpose, I mean, what do you expect? It's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And I've learned that the hard way before. Now, that was when I was 15 years old. I'm 27 years old now. I've been through some stuff. I've experienced a lot. And I know right from wrong. And I'm going to be honest. And I have nothing to lie about. This is the rawest form I could possibly give you. Clearly, I'm not editing anything. I'm stumbling, I'm frazzled because it's a stressful topic, but I'm not going to hide anything. There's no need. Now, when people say that, some of the girls, I'm sorry. When people are saying, "Oh, these girls are lying," or they just hate him, or whatever they want to say, then take into account the real reality here. Why would we lie? Like, think about it. Like, I kind of want to question. I want to question people and ask why. What is the motive? What are we trying to gain out of this? We're not. It's not like we're talking about Johnny Depp and we're trying to like sue him. Like, we're talking about some irrelevant little muppet in a wig, like, that we don't even care about, that we hate because he did something really bad to us and to many others. So we're we're not trying to gain anything out of this. It's actually harder to talk about it than it is to not talk about it, if that makes sense. So I don't know if this is even helpful right now. Like I said, I did a live earlier and I was a little bit more energetic and it was easier for me to discuss this stuff there, but the video was deleted, so I'm kind of repeating myself on this one now. But I just kind of wanted to bring all that stuff up because it's bothering me. And the more that I see it happen to other people, the more it makes me upset. I can handle certain criticisms, even if sometimes it may hurt my feelings and I get like a little upset. I can still handle it. But when I see other girls that are coming to me, or other girls who have done interviews with any of the creators saying, like, so and so said this about me, or there was this comment that I read and I can't believe they said that, it literally hurts me. Like, that's what hurts my heart the most. Some of these girls I've gotten rather close with, and they're very good people. I like them. They're nice girls. And there are people out there that are making them feel shamed for even speaking up about what is right and telling their truth on the situation. It's not fair. So I just kind of come here to ask you to lay off, man. Like, just try to consider people's feelings and experiences in life because we don't know what everyone's been through. We don't know everyone's life story. I recorded a video 2 weeks ago after I did the last Hansen video. I haven't uploaded it yet. I'm really afraid to watch it. I haven't watched it yet. Um, Kind of getting into more detail about my personal situation. So I may or may not upload that. We'll see how that goes. But the reason I filmed that was not so much for me, but for other people. So kind of like me explaining myself, so other people didn't feel like they had to explain themselves. If that makes any sense. Um, I don't know. So yeah, I don't care what people say about me in this situation. I haven't really been getting any hate anyways. It's not like a big deal. I'm not even trying to say that I am. But yeah, I just think that we need to be gentle and kind and understanding and loving right now and a little bit forgiving because it takes a lot of strength and guts to come forward about something like this. It really does. It's not easy to sit in front of a live stream with, someone interviewing you where there are thousands of people watching at that very moment. And when you know that there are people in the chat that are saying awful things, that's scary to think about. That is not easy for a lot of girls to do. Some girls are absolutely terrified of it. Some girls don't want to even file their actual reports because the interview enough was hard and they are having anxiety. I can't tell you how many girls I speak to about this on a literal daily basis. I still have new stories coming into my inbox every single day. And it hurts. It hurts. I hate reading it, not because I don't hate hearing from them, because I love that people feel comfortable talking to me about it. And if I can be there for somebody, I'll do that, of course. No questions asked. But what I hate is that there are so many girls out there who have been silenced by police, by their families, by their boyfriends, by whomever, and they're afraid to talk. There are some girls who have told me their full story and asked me to tell it for them. And I've asked certain creators to do that, but there's like it's kind of hard to do that because it's like you're reading. I have like stories printed out that I've been asked to tell on their behalf, which I might still do. I would like to do that if that's what they want. I just don't know how I'm going to go about that yet, but I'll figure it out. So, that being said, uh, I just kind of ask once again to please be kind. Care about people that you don't know because you should care about people. That's just a rule of thumb. Be a nice person. It's not that hard. It's easier to be nice than to be a dick. So, I think I've kind of said everything that I can say. Like I said, usually if I do this on Instagram, it's a little bit more energetic and I can answer questions because I get a lot of questions that come in. People make comments, I can respond to them. In here, I have like zero YouTube following whatsoever, so it's not quite the same. But this will be uploaded and I might keep it up. I might redo it at a later date in a better state of mind, whatever. I can't even think straight. But thanks to those who have tuned in to watch, and I do appreciate it. Came from your Insta Live. Oh hey, thanks for joining twice. I was just saying how I just did the Insta Live, and it didn't save, so that's why I came on here to kind of redo it. Poorly, I think. I don't know how good a job I did with this because I would prefer to kind of interact with you guys a little bit more. But that's okay. There's always tomorrow. Um, so yeah, I'm not really sure what else I can say on the matter right now. Um, did I mention the? Oh yeah, so the last thing, I don't remember if I brought this up or not, but there are people that are like asking for proof and stuff. I think I made a quick mention of that when it comes to the FBI and police and stuff. People are asking for like proof of that, like that's even a real thing, and it's definitely a real thing. um, but again, I ask, think logically, like use your noggin. Like, do you really think that that's something that you can prove or legally should prove? No, that's like not a thing that exists in the world. I'm not going to screenshot emails, and I'm not going to record phone calls with federal agents. That's not a thing that I'm going to do. That's not a thing that anybody should have to do. Um, your proof will be when he goes to jail. Okay, that's your proof. Um, it's just not necessary. Um, media doesn't like press does not need that information. It's not valuable to them. Genuinely, it's just something that they want for exclusivity. It's just something that they want. But it doesn't mean that it's something that they need, and it's nothing that we're going to be providing because it's not. It doesn't make sense. But it is really going on. It's really a thing, and it has taken many years for that to happen. Unfortunately, again, like the law, the the justice system, whatever, failed so many people. I never made a report back then. I filed my report. Um, do I know if anything's gonna come of that? I have no clue. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. People are asking me questions about, you know, if how long he's gonna go away for. Well, I know that answer, but I can't talk about that either. There's a lot of questions that I wish I could answer, but I can't. There are a lot of people that are posting information prematurely, which does not help the case. And I'm not gonna be that person to do that. Just because I'm not, a known content creator or a celebrity or whatever, it doesn't mean that I'm not like fully involved in this every single day because I am excessively to the point of literal exhaustion. Let me read the chat real quick. Yeah, I can't wait for the mugshot. Me too. I'm pumped for that. The only people that need to see proof are the FBI, police, whoever you're working with. Ignoring these idiots online is completely valid and reasonable. Thank you. I agree. My opinion, I wouldn't speak on something if I wasn't like 10,000% sure and had all the facts. Yeah, that's a problem that a lot of like press outlets, media outlets do. They always do that though. Like it's not just YouTubers, it's like CNN and Fox and all the big guys do it too. I mean, to an extent, they're a little bit better than we are, I guess. But you know, press has always been that way. They speculate, they create issues that aren't real. There's propaganda. This is not that much different, honestly. Um, there are people that want to be more involved that don't really have a place to be that involved. Like, there's so much that goes into this stuff that I can't even talk about on here because it's exhausting. But there are good people that do have good intentions that are doing what's necessary to move this case forward, move it along, I guess. Okay, so we're working on it. I don't know if I'm gonna be asked for updates when I'm live. I'm live on Chris Hansen's show on Wednesday, this Wednesday, with Ash Costello and Nikki Misery. We're gonna be on there with him. I don't know if Chris is gonna ask me stuff live for updates. I kind of hope he doesn't ask me about it, but because there's a lot that I can't speak about, but I'll do my best to say it as politically correct as humanly possible, as always. And let's see here. Am I late to the live stream? Yes, but I'll try to save this afterwards, and hopefully I do it right, because Instagram it didn't save. So yeah, I've been on for 30 minutes. Sorry. But I'm new to this whole YouTube situation. Like I'm doing this off of my laptop camera because I'm a noob and I don't know how to use like devices and stuff. So yeah, hopefully this one saves, I guess. Like I said, I'm going to be speaking about this again in the future, I'm sure. I don't expect a couple people on YouTube that are watching or will watch to be, sending along this information to the entire universe. So it's still something that needs to be brought up again and again and again, unfortunately. So it is what it is. Uh, Thank you again for doing this live stream. I'm looking forward to Wednesday's interview. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I hope that Wednesday is good. Um, I know that Ash and Nikki are going to be speaking more on. Oh, my clip is messed up. They're going to be speaking more about their tour that they did with Dahvie, um, and what happened. That was pretty bad. Dahvie treated her horribly when they were on tour together, and kicked them off because, well, they tried to protect a kid from him. What happened? Kicks him off. Just like me, I got kicked off of tour because I saw too much. It's literally true. So, hope, Ash has a lot to talk about, so that'll be an interesting one for sure on Wednesday. And again, I don't know how much I'll be speaking in that one because the last interview that I did with him, I went on with the girls from Colorado, and I was only, talking towards the end, so who knows what I'll be saying in that one this time, but I'm interested to see how it goes. What else is. It's sad people have the audacity to comment on anything that they were not there for and are saying stories are lies. It's a serious case, and young girls believe a serial rapist over innocent girls. Agreed. I agree. Seems like he kicked off a lot of people. Yes, he did. All the time. I know a lot of people that get kicked off for no reason and kind of just left in the middle of nowhere. So yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fans that are young. I mean, honestly, let's be real. Like 98% of his fans are under the age of 18, more so under the age of 16 because like who likes that music? I mean, that music is terrible. But they like to defend him and they say, "Oh, he's a great person. He says all these nice things. He seems so great. He's so hot." I'm like, "Where?" But no, all the positive stuff that he puts out, like you are the power and you're magic. It's all BS, man. That's not real. That's not real. I know him. Like I literally know him. I don't know him anymore, but I know him. And I can tell you right now, he wasn't singing that tune for the years that I was his friend. It's all made up. I mean, he's doing that because he wants to kind of it's like a cult. Think about cult leaders. Think about Charles Manson. Think about these people who preach this way of life, this way of living, this unity, this energy, this whatever they preached. And then think about all the followers that were just kind of eating it up and thinking, "Oh, this is the best. This guy's on top of the world. This guy's ahead of the game. He knows everything." It's not that much different with the whole slash gash terror crew nonsense. I mean, you can't, in a way, you can't really blame them because they're mostly kids. They're young and they don't know any better. So I don't, get angry with them. I get angry that that's a thing that they're being affected so badly by somebody like this. But that's the reality. So kids will tell will comment or in videos or posts anywhere, and they'll defend him and say it's because he's such a great guy. And it's like, but do you know him personally? Like, have you like hung out with him? Because I can guarantee you that if you're a girl and you're underage and if you're around him idolizing him, telling him he's amazing, he's going to take advantage of you and he's going to do something bad to you. I'm sorry, that's just like a fact. Unless he doesn't find you visually appealing, he might not do it. I don't know like what exactly his standards of women are. I don't know, but unless you know him, that's invalid because anyone that knows him will tell you exactly what I'm telling you. That's just a fact. All right, let me look at the chat for a second. Sorry. Jay did say Davi was very irrational and would fire people and act like they were disposable. Like, that shocks me in a way, but doesn't as well. No, it's true. I mean, when I met Jay and when I joined that tour with them, he had fired their merch girl right in front of me in Los Angeles. Like, it was a violent yelling session back and forth, and then he comes right up to me and was like, "Mal, I need your help. Can you go on tour?" I'm like, "What?" And just left, just go. You can leave now. And then I come up, and then what? A week and a half later, same thing happens to me. So yeah, he does that. I know a couple girls that were working for him and were fired in the same kind of way for basically the same reasons. What else? Do you think young followers now are fake? How are these girls so young and fans like they would have been 3 when they actually were famous? You know, that's interesting. That's a good question. Um, I can't fully answer that, but I think that the internet, millennials, or I don't know what's the word for what's younger than a millennial. I forget what the word is for that. But children, teenagers, preteens are very impressionable people, and the internet is so powerful and so big now that just like MySpace was back when I was a kid, Instagram is like that now. And they're still shopping at Hot Topic and buying their clothes the same way. They still dress like how a lot of people I knew dressed in 2008. Um, so I do think that a lot of those fans are real, for sure, which surprises me still. But I have to remember, like, I mean, we were part of this like weird movement. Like, the scene was such like a weird subculture that it only really lasted for like, I mean, like 6 years or something, but it never fully went away. It's still kind of, there's still a little bit hanging around, and I really hope it would just go away forever, honestly. But not everybody that's in that world is a bad person. I'll tell you that much. There's a lot of great people, sweet kids that are into that, and I have no problem with them expressing themselves if that's what they like. There's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, people like Dahvie Vanity and Blood on the Dance Floor exist in that world. All right. What else? Yeah. Yeah, Gen Z, Zoomers. Yeah. Yeah, the scene phase, man. My eyebrows are still recovering from the scene phase. Yeah, it was like emo happened, and then like scene came from emo, even though they're so different in many ways, and then it was this weird explosion. I don't get it. Even when I was in it, I didn't get it. I tried really hard to fit in with that, but I was really into like metal and stuff, like not like sceney metal, but like I was really into hair metal and thrash metal and new metal and whatever. So I didn't necessarily fit the mold of a proper scene kid, I guess. So I didn't really. I never. It's weird. I had like notoriety in that world, but I never fully like felt like I fit in, and I was trying way too hard to get acceptance from people who absolutely just hated me and thought I was stupid. So that's pretty much seen in the nutshell for me. Uh, let's see. The best of us went through it though. That's true. I'm still recovering from the scene phase. Yeah, I have PTSD from that, from the scene phase. Yeah. Ugh. Hmm. Sorry, let me just look at my phone real quick. Ooh, dear. Hi, Mal. First of all, thank you for your courage in speaking up about your abuse. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. When I started this whole thing, I don't mean started it, but like when I got into this case, I never really thought that I never really had an idea of how much I would be involved, like to this extent. I didn't realize that I was going to get this involved with it. But then I realized like I have a lot of information that can really help. I know a lot of people involved with him, and I know all these people that I can connect the dots with. So I just felt like I had to do it. So here we are. But also, when I started speaking with Chris Hansen and um, getting more into the story and talking with other survivors and content creators about it, things like that. As the interviews kept rolling out, then I quickly started to realize how severe this situation really was. It's something like a lot of people have said, like I've said, it's been an open secret for many years where we all kind of knew, but we didn't know to the extent of how bad it was. um, no one likes him, like, in the music industry, like, literally nobody likes this guy, like, everybody I know hates him, even prior to, like, this being public right now. Everybody always hated him, thought he was a joke, bad guy, weird, creepy with kids, like, but there was never, like, any hard evidence that it was going on. So now with all this coming out, it's very obvious that it's a serial situation, which is blowing my mind because if you think about, like, poster child for murder, like think about serial killers and stuff. You think about like Ted Bundy and stuff, right? But when you think about like serial rapists, that's not a thing. You don't really think like immediately. I guess Ted Bundy did that too, but he's more known for murder, right? So in my opinion, this guy is that. He's going to be the new poster child for that, because this is the worst case of this I've ever heard of in my freaking life, and I've been alive for close to 30 years. I've never heard anything like this. Let's see what else. Sorry, I've clicked away from the chat. Sign. Oh no, it's okay that you didn't say anything when you were the only person in here. Like I said, I don't really have any following on YouTube, so it's fine. I noticed you went back on Hansen's show after the Jeffrey interview. I was wondering how you felt Chris handled that. I'm just curious. I've lost all respect for Hansen. It really felt like he was helping Jeffrey gaslight us. Just my feelings, but I wondered how you guys felt. Um, hmm. Okay. So here's how I felt about it. So Chris asked me about it when I went back on the show. He asked me about it live. I was kind of caught off guard, obviously, because I didn't know he was going to ask me about it. But I mean, he asked me about it on the phone like the day after. And I was watching the live interview as it was happening, and in the beginning, I was like even texting like my best friend about it, and we were like, "Oh my god, Jeffrey's doing great!" Like the beginning of the interview, he was doing so good. Like I was like, "Yes, Queen, get it." And then it kind of shifted. Um, I think Chris is doing his best. He does see criticism, and we had a conversation the other day before he went. Like I think it was the day that he did the interview with Fallon. We talked about it, and I said maybe we might want to address some of this stuff. I mean, because there are a lot of people that are upset with you about this, obviously, and I understand the concerns about it. I really do. I think the first half of the interview with Jeffrey was very constructive and positive, and it was good. But yeah, I mean, the second half of it was it ended up turning into like about Jeffree Star's life, and I was like, no one wants to hear this. No, it's not helpful. And I don't really think that was on purpose. I really don't. People are trying to say like, oh, Jeffrey paid off Hansen. No, that's not a thing. It's just not a thing. It's just not. I just don't. I think that Jeffrey's very good at controlling a situation and kind of like being in charge. He's just used to being a boss. So he kind of took control of the interview a little bit to make it comfortable for him and how he wanted to talk about it and answer it, and then made it a point to obviously talk about like the greater good that he does for the world or whatever. But which is great, but it's not relevant to this situation. Um, so I don't think Chris is doing anything bad. I think Chris is a good guy. I talk to him a lot, and he's new to this platform. He's not a YouTuber. He is a journalist, a television journalist. He's been doing it for 40 years. My dad referred to him the other day as a national treasure because of what he did with To Catch a Predator for so many years. He did a great job with that show. He brought a lot of light to something very serious, which he's trying to do now. And he handles it in a way because he is he is an older journalist that's been doing this for so long. So he's not doing it the way that some people may like. And I think that we need to kind of be understanding of that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't think that there's a need to like hate Chris, because a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, Chris is ruining the investigation." And I'm like, "But how?" Like without Chris being like covering it, it wouldn't be getting this much attention right now. It just wouldn't. So I think that, he's doing the best that he can, and he has good intentions. Honestly, he really does. Let me look at the thing again real quick. You are such a light to be able to help all these girls. Make sure you take care of yourself because this is a lot. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very nice of you. I thought it was just an interview. Chris asked questions, Jeffrey answered, and then they moved on. If Chris picks at everything the guest says, it could easily go off the rails. If Jeffrey said he saw it, what would that have done for the case? It wouldn't have really made that much of a difference. That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, actually. So that's a good question. There's no proof. That's just what he said, what he saw. What we really wanted to hear from. Okay, so here's the thing with Jeffrey. Jeffrey has a huge following. A lot of the people that followed him from back then, they followed Dahvie Vanity. They followed on the dance floor. It was all the same world. So by him speaking on the topic, it brings more awareness, which is number one, very helpful to the case in a sense that more people will see it, more people will speak out about it if they were affected, not infected, etc., etc., etc. So that was a good thing on its own. Next was the tweets, which we already know about. We wanted to know if he saw something, because that would be helpful if he did, and if not, why did you tweet about it? He went over that. uh, I like I've said before, with the whole Jesse Slaughter situation, he knew Damien. He knew who Damien is. He knows who Damien is. So I don't think he's being truthful about that. But again, I don't think that he actually saw a literal sexual act take place in front of his face. I don't. I think that he saw implied stuff occur. And then there was hearsay. It's hard to say with him because he does lie a lot. Um, Let me just look at this real quick because I'm missing a lot of stuff in the chat. Sorry. It seemed very scripted to me, which is why Jeffrey seemed to take control. I felt like it was more a matter of them having planned exactly what they wanted to say to get Jeffrey off the hook. Honestly, I don't. It doesn't. No, those things don't get scripted. They talk about stuff beforehand on the phone briefly, just like he does with anybody else, and that's it. Um, I think that Jeffrey may have spoken to a lawyer, and the lawyer may have said, "Hey, don't talk about this." That's a possibility. Um, Sorry, I'm like catching up on this chat here. It would have validated the victim's testimony. That's true. I mean that is true, yeah. But I really don't think he saw anything like that. I think that he saw a lot of implied behavior, but I think that realistically we have to really think about it. Like, why would Davi be publicly doing something sexual, like genuinely sexual, with a very young child in front of a group of people? Like that's like not a thing that he does. Like even when I was on tour with him before he really tried to hide it that much, he would still do it behind closed doors, for the most part. I walked in on him once, in a hotel room where he thought no one was around, stuff like that. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that if Jeffrey did see something happen that he would talk about it. There's really there's there's no way to expect what's going to happen with him because he's so not reliable ever, with things like that. Because back in the day, he was so dramatic. I mean, he's still dramatic, obviously, he's Jeffrey, but he would say the most like dramatic stuff just to get a rise out of people all the time, like on a regular basis. And he was very like vile with things he would say and how he would say things to people. Even in person, he was like that. He was just very like drama, like everybody look at me at all times. So it's really hard to say what he saw or didn't. Uh, sorry, let's see. Oh man, I'm really sorry that happened to you. That's awful. I'm really sorry. Unfortunately, this kind of stuff is a lot more common than a lot of people wish to know. Um, it's terrible, and I think that there's also people that will say things like, "Oh, the YouTube videos are just for clout or whatever." But no, like the YouTube videos, the interviews, that's for the awareness factor of this, and also it's been helping people to come forward. It helped me to come forward, for example. And look how involved I've been with this case. Like there might be 20,000 more of me out there that are in the same position but haven't come forward yet because they haven't seen a video. They didn't know. I've had friends call me over the last week saying like, "What's going on with this Chris Hansen stuff? What's going on with this? What's going on with that?" And I'm like, "You didn't see that?" And like, "No, I haven't seen anything." Like, well, people still don't know what's going on. So this is helpful to be doing this every week. And I'm not just talking about Chris, I'm talking about Repzilla too. I'm talking about everybody that's covering this. Like it's not just Chris, but there are plenty of people that are covering it, and they're all being very helpful. And I mean, and yes, Repzilla being one that is extremely helpful. Like he's a great person. He really cares about the case. He cares about the survivors. He, he's very helpful with this. There's a couple that are. Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading again. I do think it's entirely plausible that the only reason Jeffrey did the interview, where'd it go? Ah, did the interview is for damage control. He was getting a lot of hate online, and he may just wanted to protect his brand, but I don't know. Oh yeah, that's why he did the interview. That's literally why he did the interview. That's what I think. Uh, oh, you're welcome. So, oh, thanks guys. You guys are so nice. I really appreciate you. So many nice people. I really appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you for saying nice things. So, I don't know. I guess I feel like I feel a responsibility to be so involved with this because I'm someone who not only was a victim of this person, but also a friend of this person on and off for years. Like, toured with him, I hung out with him, like, I performed with him once for God knows what reason. We have a lot of the same friends. I mean, I knew Garrett, I knew Jay, I knew merch people, I knew crew, I knew people they were touring with. Like I knew all these people. So I felt like, okay, I'm somebody who is in a position because I was in the music industry for so many years and still sort of am, I guess, that I can kind of help put some pieces together, connect certain people, and I guess I'm just a very energetic person and I'm very outspoken. So I think if I'm able to help, then I want to help. I feel like if I didn't speak up the way that I have been, I would be doing a disservice to this case in a way. Um, it's kind of like it's an insider situation in a way. I don't know how to word this. So yeah, I'd like to be as helpful as I possibly can, and I'm never gonna lie to anybody, and I'm never gonna do anything on purpose to damage the case or anything like that. Uh, I know there is not an actual timeline, but are the days still ticking fast? Like he needs to be locked away forever ASAP. I know. Um, so with investigations like this, it's really hard to say. Um, I don't know how quick it's gonna be that they get him. Uh, no one knows how quick that's gonna be, and even when they do, it's not if, it's when. Um, there's a lot that goes into it about when it comes to like sentencing and court dates, trials, whatever. There's a lot that goes into stuff like this, especially something this extreme. It's who knows how it could take years, it could take months, it could take weeks, it could take days. No idea. I can tell you, for example, a friend of mine was murdered by her ex-boyfriend a couple months ago, and he still hasn't been sentenced. And he is the only he pled not guilty, which is hilarious because he was there's no other, like, there's literally no other people that are being questioned for this. It's just this idiot. And still hasn't been sentenced yet. And this was in February. This happened. He was arrested like 2 days, I think a day later. Yeah, a day later. And he made bail real quick and then he got rearrested. Yeah. So, it's May. You know what I'm saying? And that was like a murder. And it was like there was evidence, all signs pointing to this one human, and the guy hasn't been sentenced. So that's just kind of an example of something that I know personally, that if that helps anything when it comes down to I don't know if that answered the question or not. I'm sorry. Um, yeah. Yeah, and then especially with COVID going on, I think courts are closed or they're opening back up, but Tavi's bald head in an orange jumpsuit. I know, I keep saying that. I'm so excited about that. I'm so pumped. I'm so excited. Uh really excited to see that. But yeah. So, I mean, my friend, her name was Amy Harwick, Dr. Amy Harwick, by the way. I don't want to just not give her a name. She was an amazing human being, a sex and family therapist out of Los Angeles, California. I've known her for like 10 years. We weren't best friends, but we were friends. We hung out a lot in social situations. We did fashion shows together. We would go to like the same shows, like we go to the same everything. Like I knew her for a while and she was a great person. And she had a stalker boyfriend who just kind of decided to murder her because he's a piece of shit. And that was February 14th, and it is May 10th, and he's not been sentenced. So that's that's how you can kind of tell when it comes to these court situations. It's not like there. It takes a while sometimes. Sometimes I wonder if people really have any idea of how terrifying and upsetting it is to reach back into the most horrible time of your life and relive that for all the world to see. I agree. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't realize that that's a serious thing. A lot of girls that I've talked to are having like severe anxiety after doing interviews or even discussing doing an interview, and like they're afraid because it's so harmful for them to relive it. That is a serious thing. That's a real thing. It's trauma. Sorry, I need to plug my computer in because it wasn't charging this whole time. Okay. Let's see here. Therapy is important. We're working on that. There's a lot of like legal stuff that goes in with that. So like raising money like that right now doesn't look good because it just doesn't. But it's something that we're trying to figure out the way to do it where it makes sense. I mean, I know I need therapy in general. There's a lot of girls that really need it right now. And it's expensive, man. It's not cheap. My last therapist was like 120 a session and she gave us a discount. Like that was a discount. So, it's not easy. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can like help get money together to help with when people need to go to court so that they can fly out. I'm one of the people that will be flying out, and most of the not all these people live in Florida. Most of them don't. Insurance should cover them, most of them, especially with being children. Well, that's the thing. A lot of these people are not children. I mean, there are plenty that are still children, but there are the majority of people that have come forward or have spoken to someone privately are actual legal adults now, but are just now coming forward after however many years, whether it be like 3, 4 years or 15 years ago. So it's a little difficult. Not everybody has insurance, unfortunately. I don't have insurance. Yeah, good therapy can be really expensive. $200 an hour. That's a lot. Oh wow. I'm sorry that happened to you too. Oof, terrible. I have been wondering if there's a place y'all have for people to donate money for lawyers or therapy. Oh, well, thank you so much, first off. That's very sweet of you. Um, a couple people have contacted us asking that, and we just can't figure that out right now. There's a lot of legal stuff that goes into that. Um, even coming down to like who's going to handle the money, who's going to distribute it. When it comes down to like the travel side of things, like I would like to be spearheading that personally because I'm really good at that stuff. I'm an artist manager, tour manager, merch person. I know how to handle finances. I know how to book travel very well. I know how to do per diems. I know how to deal with all that stuff. So like I feel like I would be a very good person to handle that. Now, I don't know if that's the right person to handle that, but I would like to. If they need me to, I will. If there's someone better to do it, then by all means go for it. But as of right now, we're not taking any money because we first off we don't want anyone to think that we're taking money just to milk the situation, because that is not what we're doing. I know you guys don't think that, but there are people out there that do think that might say that later on for whatever reason. So far, no one said that, but you never know. Uh, but whenever we do have something like that, whether it be for travel or therapy, we will be posting that. I know Chris will be talking about it. Repzilla will be talking about it. Pastel Bell will be talking about it. Everyone will be posting about it when it's public. 100%. But as of right now, we just can't really mess with that at the moment. But we'll get there. Isn't that right, Small Fry? Nothing? No input? She has so much to say, but right now, not so much. Trying to get money from a 34-year-old that lives at home. Oh my god, that's an actual joke. You know what though? He has a lot of money. Um, yeah, he's 36 and he lives with his parents, but he has money. I know for a fact he has money. He's always had money. He has made so much money just merch alone, um, royalties, album sales. Like tours. I don't know if how much money they make on tour, but merch alone, streaming, things like that. He has money from himself and he has money from his parents. He's had money since I've known him. He always has had money. It's why he also doesn't pay his crew anything, because he likes to control finances so that they don't even, he's like, oh, I'll pay for this and this and this and that, so I don't need to give you money, so he can control how much money gets spent. So no, he's got money. That's the thing. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. I mean, he's probably just saving up right now for his bail. Mm. You would think the prosecutor would get the government to pay for flights and accommodations. You did nothing wrong. If anything, the police screwed up and left this scummy mother. I want to snap his neck. I agree. I wish it was that easy. I really, really, really do, but unfortunately it's not. Up in the air that BOTDF was created partly to get closer to underage kids. I hear that conspiracy floating around with his lack of talent. It sounds believable. Yeah. So back when he was back in like 2006, 2004, 2004, 2005, 2006. I don't remember which one. So he did go to hair school. He didn't do much with hair, but he tried to, and he went by Dahvie Vanity Elite Hair God on MySpace. That's what he was when I met him. And he had all these pictures like doing hair and at salons and stuff. So he would get girls to come over to his house or go to their houses or whatever, whatever you may want to, whatever. Anyways, and he would do their hair, and then he would try to get with them, basically. So that was his original thing. And then he wanted attention. He's a very insecure person. That's why his name is Vanity, because he just has so many insecurities. He's clearly not an attractive human being. Never was, and he wants to be cool and accepted. He wanted to be like Jeffrey. He wanted to be like all these MySpace people he was seeing online. So he kind of used that platform to get the attention of these girls, and that's why he was so like intent on touring all the time. Not like most bands want to tour because they want to play their music for people. Like he wants to tour so he can get laid. So, no, I very much believe that's what it is because music is not good. So, it was worse back then. It was a lot worse back then. The first record was terrible. When they approached me to join the lawsuit, I was too much of a coward. I declined, thinking we would finally see justice, and the suit fell through after a few years due to lack of funds. Wait, which are you referring to exactly with that? Irony that Michael Jackson was also a pedo, and the song was called "Blood on the Dance Floor" before he named the band. Yeah, I know. That's I think the same thing. Dahvie straight up stolen lyrics so many times. It's one of the many reasons I've never liked the band. Yeah, he steals lyrics and he steals samples. He steals everything. None of it's real. I mean, even his crappy merch, like he steals all those designs too. Like nothing about him is original. I mean, his hair isn't even real. For fuck's sake. That ain't right. If y'all can't get there in today's digital age, every victim should be able to get their statement via Wi-Fi. Since it's various states, I'm assuming the FBI is handling this case. Yeah, they are. Uh, um, I'll look that up. Um, yeah. Um, there's people can write letters to the judge if they can't make it to physical court. Um, but definitely, in-person testimonies, as many as possible, will be more powerful and better, I think, for the jury. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm going, obviously. It would be dumb if I didn't go. It would be weird. People would be like, why are you not there? So I have every intention of being there. I mean, Florida's not that far from me. It's not that hard. I'm from Florida, so I don't mind flying to Orlando. Hmm. Well, you know what happens to pedophiles in prison, right? I mean, I don't want him dying prematurely. I really don't. I don't even necessarily wish death on him either. It's really not like that. I would like him to be in prison forever. Because he has ruined some girls' lives. He doesn't even realize what he's done to some girls. There are some girls whose lives have been completely ruined by him. There are girls as young as 10 years old, and not just one. It's not just one. There are several girls who were 10, 11 years old, and he messed up their lives, whether it be for like their entire life was completely screwed up, or at least like the first half of their teenage adolescence or into early adulthood was completely screwed up because of him. He has affected so many people. So many people. I mean, it's there are no words for something like that. Like how do you handle that? Uh, huh. Let me look that up. Bill Goth. Okay. I will type that into my search, and I can read about it after I get off here. Sorry, my tooth hurts. I have a root canal coming up, so I'm like fucking with my tooth. Hmm. Hmm. I'll have to look this up. It looks pretty crazy on the Google. Yeah. So I don't know. I went into some other stuff with this. It goes pretty deep. There's so much to really talk about with this at the end of the day, and it's relatively exhausting. But what can you do? Huh. I agree with you. I agree with you. I Nothing makes me more angry than pedophiles, predators, rapists. It's not. It's the worst kind of people in the world. They are the worst kind of people. They're up there with murder. They're in the same wavelength as them. They're the same. It's the same amount of horrific behavior. I mean, while a murderer is killing somebody and taking their life, their physical life, um, predators, pedophiles, people like that, they're taking your soul. Like they can be. I mean, some people can get out of that situation and be completely okay forever. You know, but there are some people that never ever get past it and are consistent. I'm still messed up about it, and it's not just him. Like there's plenty of other people that I have been affected by that are just like him when I was that young, and it has affected me to this day. I have into some intimacy issues sometimes. Still, I get triggered easily out of nowhere. I'll be fine, and then I get triggered just like that. And I'm 27 years old. I mean, and my youth, I wasn't promiscuous by nature, but I didn't know how to say no. And I didn't want it. I didn't want it from him. I didn't want it from this guy or that guy, but they thought that I was someone who needed it. And it messed up my self-esteem forever. And I'm still messed up about it. I'm still messed up about it because I'm still to this day a sexualized person in many people's eyes because of like my body shape and things like that. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily negative, that people find me attractive. That's fine. Like that's cool, but it's just when you think about being sexualized to that extent, sometimes it can trigger you because you're so used to what happened to you back then. Back then that's all I was good for. And that's when my brain, my head kind of takes me to that place. Still, and it's not a fun place to be. This is what I'm talking about by like long-term effects. Um let's see here. They're taking and breaking our souls. We are fractured for life. I agree. I understand that. Yeah. Literally and unfathomably horrific. Yep. Do you plan on being an advocate for survivors after all of this? Not just this case, but does it make you happy helping so many people? Yeah. Um I think that I do. Something that I've always talked about when I was younger. Okay, so quick backstory. I'll get into this in another day, but when I was young, I had drug addiction, alcohol addiction. When I was really, really, really young, and I like went to like a rehab program. I was the very damaged child. There was a lot of abuse, there was a lot of neglect, there was a lot of bullying, there was sexual abuse, there was I mean everything like you could possibly think of happened to me when I was a kid. And it messed me up so bad, and I got through it and I became a better person. And I don't do drugs. I mean, once in a blue moon, I'll, you know what I mean? Like the bluest of moons. But I don't have any drug addiction. I'm not an alcoholic. I barely drink. If I drink like 1 to 3 drinks when I go out for the most part. Um I'm a good person. I'm a good human being. I know that I'm a good person. And I always said when I was a kid like, I want to help people one day. I was mostly talking about children, but I want to help somehow in some way. And this is my first experience being able to do that. And while this case is so exhausting and it takes so much energy out of me, I feel like I'm doing something. Like I feel like I have a purpose for once. And it feels nice. It feels nice because I have a lot of hurt, and it feels like that part of my life doesn't go to waste, if that makes sense. So if I can be someone that can say, "Hey, I've been through these things and I'm okay and I've made it through and I'm doing better and this is how I'm doing it." If I'm able to do that and help somebody else be on that level at some point, then of course I want to be involved. I don't know to which extent. I've even thought about doing, being a therapist many times, but then I think about it and I'm like, "Oh man, that's like so many years of school and like it's a lot of money and like I'm not good at math." Like I don't know if I could do it. But I've been thinking about going to school. I mean, I was going to be an esthetician. I work in skincare. I'm a skincare specialist. I'm a makeup artist, and I've been in the music industry for years. Like these are my credentials. I've been doing these things, but now I'm thinking about like, man, maybe I want to be in the FBI. Like maybe I want to do this. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do, but I definitely want to be involved in helping people for sure. That's definitely a thing that I want to keep doing if I'm able to. I would be happy to. Um, think you have a calling for doing what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you. Um, especially children. Oh, you could help others. We need to stick together and help raise one another up and help one another heal and get empowered and draw strength and love and just help victims heal. I agree. I agree. I definitely agree. Um, I've I've never been one to bully. I'm not into bullying. I can have an attitude and opinions on people and like, complain to friends about stuff like any other human being, but at the end of the day, I'm not the kind of person that's going to walk up and start a fight. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that person. I rather make people feel good about themselves. Um so with this situation, I've been able to do that, and I've had I've had some of the nicest things any people have ever said to me, like, have been said to me in the last couple of weeks. And I'm just like, man, like, that's crazy. Like, I don't even know how this is possible. Like, how am I helping this much? Like, it just still blows my mind, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's unreal to me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are so nice. My cat is being really cute right now, and I don't want to wake her up, but I wanted to show you. Hold on. Hi, Fry. You're very cute and small. Okay, sorry. She's really cute and small. So hope that answers that. Gosh, it's late. So I feel like I should probably jump off here because this is over an hour. And I meant to only do like 25, 30 minutes. In fact, I was going to jump off like an hour ago. So Um, could help keep your credentials and help people out on the side. That's true. That's true. I think that I could do both. I have to figure out how. I would like to do multiple things. The thing is, I like to do a lot of stuff. I've got like a lot of interests. I love a lot of things interest me. Um, I I like stopping bad guys. That's for sure. I like that. I like helping people who think that they can't be helped and showing them, hey, you matter. Let me show you. I like that. I like being able to make some sort of a difference. So I am kind of curious about that. I am curious about going back to school and doing something with that. Honestly, I really have considered it for a while, but never quite thought about doing FBI. But I feel like I'd be a dang good FBI agent after this case. um. Oh, thank you. That's so nice. Aw. Good night. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. So I think I should probably kind of get out of here. But I mean, I'll probably do another one of these at some point. I do these on Instagram more than YouTube. But I mostly wanted to talk about the stuff that I was bringing up earlier on in the beginning of the video, which hopefully will be uploaded once I get off of here because I hope I don't mess it up. But if anyone, does anybody have any more questions before I log out of here? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace. The stream definitely worked out better than the last one where I got copyright strike for no reason. That was weird. There was a TV on in the living room, all the way out there, very low volume. I don't know if that's what it was, but I wasn't sure. So if no one has any more questions, sorry, I just got a message. Then I will head out. So I'll wait a few more seconds just in case. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I really appreciate it. The video will be up probably afterwards if I do it right. Um it was like, again, it was initially just to kind of address a couple things that were on my mind and then it just turned into a bunch of other stuff, which is cool. I prefer live streams so I can like actually interact with people. Good night. All right. So, anyways, so thank you to whoever was watching and whoever decided to watch after the fact. I know that we kind of touched on a bunch of other random stuff in this, which is it is what it is. It's fine. I hope that I was somewhat helpful with what I had to say. Um, I'll be back on with Chris Hansen on Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time with Ash Costello and Nikki Misery, and I'm sure you'll see me again and again and again all over the dang place because I'm not going to shut up anytime soon about this. So, I will, if you want to hear me venting about old Dahvie, catch me on Instagram. It's just at Mal underscore Levy. Twitter is at Mal Levy underscore. And that's about it. So yeah, look for me over there. Stay in touch with me, be my friend, and I'll be back on here at some point, I'm sure. Thanks again for coming in, and have a great night, guys. Love you so much. You guys are the best.